Welcome to a recording of a family death. With me, Kendar, the Tiger Rights, and Ty, the Tiger Supervisor. If you want to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Which, get this right. And this is the start of a new book. One. And that's another body out of the freezer, Marlot said, smiling as he put his hand behind Gordon's eyes on the road as he drove. He tensed his shoulders. None of this bullet in operation. Still felt a dull throb. It didn't affect his movement, but it reminded he could get out. After 2 months, he'd expected it all to be gone. Seen the surgeon only a week ago. He'd confirmed he was fully healed. Throbbing was either in his mind or only. Ram? Marlot called to him. I think you'd be happier about that. Trembor didn't answer. He had to think back on what. I am, although his tone didn't carry. Don't like that you gave that ocelot money. Kilgear didn't know where our killer was hiding. Glanced at the paying him information. I should have hauled his tail to prison. He's a thief who hears a lot of things, and it doesn't bother you that he's going to put the gave him to planning another robbery. I doubt he needs my money to do that. Looked at it, the hand on his thigh, rubbing it. Look, it really bothers you. Just put it this way. Isn't it just a question of time? Gets put his hand on top of the, using it gently. That's enough for you? We're part of law enforcement. No, we're not. We're registered investigators. We go after the killers who don't pay the tax on their kill. That's under the revenue department. Still feels wrong to pay a criminal of arresting him. Marlot smiled and leaned. Lion, nuzzling his. I love it when you get all indignant. Chuckled. Not while I'm driving. Don't want to get in an accident. Marlot brought the lions into his nuzzled, then licked it. It then. Marlot let his pad out before the car was parked, checking. Which meant their secretary hadn't gone out for lunch today. You think we have enough meat in the cooler? Trevor asked, shutting down the car. Of course we do. We took down that elk last week. Last us a week. Get Trembor's stomach. Abs weren't visible on the delivery suit. That is, if you eat. The lion cuffed him playfully. I don't overdo it, and you know it. My fault that you spend so much time at my place now. I end up doing more exercise than before. The wolf smiled as the words brought their tiny head to mind. Yes, well, it should still be enough. Marlot put his pad away and headed the lion a step behind. Inside, the elephant was behind the desks. The elephant seated behind the desk followed them. Blacklaw, Mr. Goldenmane, how did it go? It went well, Marlot answered, sniffing the air. We caught the killer, or replied. Continued, although I'm not entirely happy about it. The wolf moved closer to the desk. Carl called, what? I'm like, carrot. I smell a salad. Tomato, greens, tomatoes. Had for lunch? Said, and an elephant. Ale. Watch Ella hands as she avoided looking at him. She tried to type something, but her trunk got in her way as she reached for the bowl of sweets she kept on the side of her computer. Moved it a little, then went for the stylus. With a soft curse, she grabbed it against her body. It always had a mind of its own when she was nervous. She looked up at the she eared. Ooh, smells like he likes you a lot. Gasped as the lion grabbed him by the collar. Okay. All right, that's enough. She has worked. Trevor dragged the wolf to their office. You'd embarrassed her like that. The instructor says that we need to constantly practice set recognition in other species. I was doing. Stop using that to pry into it. Aren't you curious what prospective male is? Don't know that that's what male is. I know what I know that's what he wants to be, and he smells very well. I'll search for the right word, determined. There was a knock at the door, and then Elan opened it. This came in for you earlier, she ended. Thanks. Sorry for embarrassing. All right, sir. When are you going to introduce him? Great cheek also gained a reddish hue as she turned soft. You're incorrigible, said. Second on. Followed Pad's buzz. He looked and instead put it away. Was that? One important. He looked at the envelope from the government, revenue division. Hometown again? Yes. Are you ever going to take that call? No. An ID call fell out of it. As far as I'm concerned, a lot of them can go find a lake and drown. Turned it over and looked at the badger. Again? Name next to the picture. Aldrich Digger. Follow took it. What? The wolf showed him the card. Third time. 2 months. Gotten someone's replacement. They need to fix that. Revenue Department, ID Issuance Division. No. Hi, Marlo Blacklaw. You sent me someone else's replacement card again. Pull up my file. He gave him his. Third time this happened. You need to get your technicians to find what's causing it. Part of your delivery system. Sorry, sir. What's the name and ID number of the card? Marlo gave him that. And you that today? Yes. That's odd, according to was sent out. I know. Like I said, this is the third time this happened. Look, I'll get this card to its owner. Just have someone fix this, okay? I'll have a technician get on that right away. Thank you. Put his pad away. I'm borrowing your car. I'll be back in an hour or so. You want lunch first? I'll eat when I get back. When Marlot returned, he ate at their wolf's pad buzzed twice, and each time he glanced at it, then ignored. You should talk to them. Seems like they can't stop calling today, and they can keep crying. It's from the council. Nothing I want to hear. Trembor looked at him. Never going to. Okay, the lion reached in Marlo's hand. When you're ready. They finished eating a moment before Marlo's computer dinged, announcing he had a call on the Marlot Blackclaw just investigated as a note things up on the screen. Or tough. Marlo, my boy. The old town councilor greeted him with a smile. It's been so long since I've seen you. 4 years since you left for us to track that hunter. Never returned to us. Hunter named Ruxel. Come through Marlo's hometown and left dozens of unclaimed body in his way. Predators and prey. It hadn't made a difference to him. The council had ordered Marlo to track him and pay for his crime, no matter what it took. Pat had taken him to the city. Discover he didn't have to be under anyone's heel. With Tremble's help, for RI, city's RI, they found Ruxel. I'd rather than be. Marlo had let the council know the hunter was dead and that he wasn't coming back. How? You were supposed to come back after you dealt with the hunter. I'm not the one who killed him. It was dead in Trembor or another RI, but the newsies had made him the. It's not important. The counselor said, dismissing this array, but we were expecting you back. And I explained that I wasn't back. One of the RI died, and I was offered this territory. It was more that he'd begged for. He'd wanted to have a reason why he could stay in the city and not just how he begun feeling felt. Not just how he'd begun feeling lion. Your father was disappointed. Me, you haven't called him. What's the point? Is he going to say that he needs me at the commune? That my mother wants me to come back? Well, sure too, but I have work here to do. That's good. Then you'll make sure to visit her when you're here. I don't have any plans to go back anytime soon. Actually, we need you to come back now. Someone killed Naego this morning. Charlotte found the voice at Diego Southpaw had been, a bear in on the council, town medic. He'd been one of the few people Marlot actually. Sorry to hear that, he managed to say. I hope you find his killer and bring justice. With him having been a counselor, they'd actually look for the killer instead of finding the vagrant. That's why we need you here. Now, someone has to have taken over the RI position when I left. Yeah, some bison from another town. Then have him deal with it. To me, Earl. This isn't something for just any stranger to handle. You are the one I trust to handle this. The one you can push around. You felt like yelling, but I'm sorry, counselor. The answer is no. He ended the call and said it throughout all to write his call through Elan, letting her know he wasn't available for the day. 3 times over the next hour, she called for him. He asked who they turned out to be other counselors. Didn't take their call either. His pad buzzed. Checked the ID. When he checked, the ID came up as government. The call to his terminal, expecting it was the revenue department with an update on the glitch. Well-built brown and one wolf appeared. Is this Marlot Blackclaw? She asked. Yes. Please hold. The screen changed to shriek and the Marlot frowned. This? Not proceed. Trevor looked over his screen and shrugged. Marlot just shrugged. When the image changed back, it wasn't the wolf, but a massive bull sitting at an expensive desk. Marlot Blackclaw asked in a deep voice, This is Carlick Sharphorn. Carrick Sharphorn. Marlot starts to saw even Trembor straighten. Leader Sharkhorn, it's an honor to speak with you again. What can I do for you? He'd met the city leader when he solicited all the RIs that had taken part in capturing Ruxel. You can start by explaining to me exactly why I had a counselor from some farming town scream at me for stealing their RI. I'm sorry about it, sir. They want me to investigate a death there, and I told them no. The bull's feature didn't change, but his tone became cool. And why did you do that? It's not my territory anymore. There's another investigator in that region asking them to look. And why does he want you to do it? Don't know, sir. Wasn't going to bring up town politics. The male drummed his fingers on the desk for a moment. Look, why don't you just go and deal with farming town? It won't be all that difficult to find the killer and get them to pay the tax. Sir, I can't do that. Ignoring that I'd be acting in another RI's territory, I have a responsibility here. Then and then just because my hometown counselor would rather deal with me than the local RI. Will only be away a day or two. How that's going to affect any of your investigation, and if there's something that's really urgent, pass it on to the other RI for another RI for the duration. He thought for a moment. You're that RI who works with a partner. Can't he take over your cases while you're away? Sir, that isn't how this works. RIs have their territories, and we can't take on cases that originate outside of them. Sorry, but there's nothing you can say that can make me go there. Marlot, mind if I call you Ed? Marlot, here's the situation. That Arlean tough threatened me with a price hike on all vegetables they ship to us. On top of that, he said it's entirely possible there would be a blight hitting their crop this year. He also implied that if it hits their commune, it was bound to hit the other towns as well. Now, happens is going to make the herbivores in this fine city unhappy. That is going to make my life difficult, and I'm going to feel obligated to make someone's life difficult. Fine. Look, Paul said this don't want to do. Don't want to force you to go there. I understand that puts you in a difficult position, so I'm just to ask. no favor to me. Go there, find that killer, make them happy so people here can also be happy. Marlot felt right. I'll go. Thank you, Marlot. I appreciate your cooperation. I'll let them know you'll be leaving as soon as you can. Screen blank. Marlot put his head in his hand. Headache. He couldn't believe he'd just been blackmailed into going back there. I can have Cyril look after my part of our territory while we're away. Marcel coming. You won't mind doing that for the future. Have to come. Trust me, you don't want to have to deal. The lion squeezed his shoulder. Partner, even if we were lovers, I would let you do this on your own. Marlot rested his head against Trembor. Thanks. He remained like that for a moment, then set about making sure things would go while they were. They gave access to their files to the two investigators who take over. Jack Scott, examiner, as well as the enforcers of the transfer. After Marlot went back in a bag and collected the cooler, brought that to his plate. The lion had borrowed the freezer from his parents, their meat, while they were away. Freezing that would change the texture and better than letting his last hunt. Then Marlot had to do one last thing. Called Bahamel. Hi, Ba. It's said. The message buffer came. Busy with a suspect. I know you were looking forward to me and Trembor coming to dinner. Well, postponed. I've been blackmailed into going back home to deal with the body and coming with me inside. It shouldn't be more than a few days, so I'll pad you when we're back and arrange. Called and resigned himself. To a drive he wasn't. Huge chapter of if you are enjoying this, please, if you want to be informed when the next one is going to be, subscribe. Well, if you want to read the book, as well as the others in the series, they are available at all major retailers. If you want to support me, that's on my Patreon. You can have access to everything I've written. And listen to these live. It's every Tuesday morning, p.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. The links are in the notes. And with that, I'll wish you a good day.